let's talk about this situation here. So first off, we have the Wheel of Fortune and the Eight of Cups. So this is going to be dealing with basically overall emotional issues, like emotional situations, all right? And I feel very strongly it deals with actions and consequences overall. The first thing here is there is a situation in your life that you've invested a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of sweat and tears, and you're not seeing it pan out the way that you want. So you don't have a choice really but to walk away from it. Okay? I do feel that it's over and done with, and I don't feel that you can backtrack from this. And this is a situation I feel that you have backtracked or reverted to or returned to many, many times in the past. But I do feel something, some tidbits of information, some news has happened in the very recent past. So this could be March, where you are starting to realize that you can't constantly backtrack and go back to it. And you might also come to the realization that you're walking back to it mainly because it's there, it's convenient, mainly because other opportunities are not coming through. So you're doing it out of a sense of security. There isn't really any love or any personal enjoyment that can be had from this situation. So it's really important for you to walk away, firm up, walk away and not be disappointed, because this is something that hasn't worked before. You're going back to it, so it's not going to work now. Things are not going to change, okay? What I'm also sensing as well is that there were a lack of opportunities, so you stuck with it. But once you make up your mind firmly to walk away from it and to not look back and to just be okay on your own, the opportunities will come in. If we are operating from a low vibrational energy, we can't manifest things in our lives. When we sever ties and direct our energy stream in a more concentrated manner, that's the only way that we can allow the universe to do miracles and to shuffle things around to help us. So I feel like a lot of you are at this point where you're quickly turning your back from something. And as a result of it, in April is when opportunities, doors, and things like that will start opening for you. And it's going to be very, very good for you. So a lot of positive changes, but it comes about at the expense of closing doors that are no longer good for you. Closing off those pathways, sealing them, turning your back on them, and moving forward, okay? In terms of your spiritual advice, we do have the Hermit here. The Hermit signifies basically, this is a card about research. This is a card about looking within, figuring out our motives, shining light on a situation, and accepting the situation for what it is and moving forward. This is a card about spiritual guidance, and it's also a card about being comfortable on your own, being comfortable in your own skin, and not letting, that sense of loneliness, that sense of isolation, make us fall back into unhealthy habits, unhealthy relationships, possibly even concerning drinking. For example, I feel like unhealthy habits, unhealthy relationships, unhealthy people that are not good for our soul's evolution, all right? It's linked up with the Five of Pentacles, and the Five of Pentacles deals greatly with financial considerations, and it also deals with people who place way too much emphasis on the physical, on status, prestige, physical, like physical things. They're placing emphasis on the wrong things, okay? So it's forcing you to re-examine your relationship with money. It's forcing you to re-examine a very, very strong, significant karmic relationship in your life, where one person, as soon as they walk out the door, the other person chases after them. But when they're physically, emotionally available, the other person is like withholding affection. So that's That's like one of the classic trait of a karmic relationship. When two people are not in sync, there might be love there, but they're just not able to work together as a unit. It's forcing you to look at this situation. Think about what lessons you are able to extract from this. A lot of the times, it can deal with the ways in which, we are afraid, first of all, to be on our own because you're the sign of duality and you want to have another person to bounce ideas off of. So I feel like in times where you feel a little bit lonesome, you might revert back to somebody that's not good for you. It's basically telling you that you have some protection here that can allow you to get out of financial difficulties if that's the situation, or karmic relationships if that's what you're dealing with. I don't feel there's heavy emphasis on financial troubles. I honestly don't feel that. So I do feel this deals more with like karmic relationships. People that don't boost our self-esteem, or people that might even corrode our sense of self-worth, okay? So think really about the past. Think about the past 10 years of your life. The times where you were very financially well off, the times where you were very, very financially stable, secure, and happy. Think back at those times and think about if you were in a relationship or if you were single. I feel like for a lot of you, you might have been single, which allowed you the freedom of movement to pursue jobs that were very financially lucrative. As soon as you got into relationships, I feel like you lost your sense of purpose and identity, and you cater to the other person where your freedom of movement might be limited, where you have to relocate to do jobs that paid you, less than what you were making when you were single. I feel like that might be a situation, something to think about coming in, okay? Um, in terms of the work environment, we have the Nine of Wands. Yeah, I feel like it's more of a work situation here. So the Nine of Wands basically indicates it's taking a rest from a difficult situation to recoup your strength, to gather yourself, and to prepare to fight for another day. And in this situation, it could be where for a lot of you, there might be basically like looking at jobs, sending out resumes, waiting for the callback, waiting for people to either, contact you for loans, contact you for job placement, contact you for some type of feedback, okay? And I do feel that you're being vigilant. You're being on guard through this whole process, and you've sent out a lot of feelers. You put out a lot of feelers out there. So it's just a matter of opportunities coming through. A lot of you have very, very high hopes and aspirations, and a lot of you are very, very optimistic about this whole process. It's very favorable for you. So I feel like if you're applying for new work, if you recently left a situation I feel like for a lot of you, if you recently left a relationship and you are thinking about traveling, you're applying for jobs all over. And wherever it takes you, like if it's outside of your geographical location, is going to be very favorable for you. So that's something to, look into if you haven't already done that. But I feel with the Nine of Wands and also with the Seven of Cups, you might already be doing that. And wherever the next job takes you, it's going to be very phenomenal. I feel for a lot of you, you might be in an environment where you don't have a strong support system, like a strong social network or a strong support system. The environment around you seems a little bit desolate, honestly. So I do sense that if you are not happy there, go to a place that is more suitable for your biological needs. If you need to be close to family, if you need like warm weather, if you need dry weather, if you need temperate climate, whatever it is, find the location that suits your biological needs so that at least that part of yourself feels comfortable, okay? I definitely feel a lot of opportunities will be in store for you. And keep in mind, the Seven of Cups is scattered energy. And Gemini, I feel that out of all the air signs, you are probably the most scattered. You're thinking like, about a billion things a minute. So it's really important this month to get a sense of groundedness, okay? So what that means is if you have multiple options, write them down on a piece of paper, itemize them, and list out the pros and cons for each and every choice that you have on the table. So that is the practical, the earthy way of doing something. So I would urge you to do that if you have a lot of like options coming through and you don't really know which one you want to go with. It's going to be very beneficial for you at least to lay out the pros and cons so that you can make an informed decision. Okay. Now, in terms of the interactions between people around you, communications especially, you have an air sign here. So let's talk about this air sign first. This can be you, or it can be another air sign. Let me see here. I'm going to read this as you. I'm going to read this as you because the other cards are telling me pretty much that you have a lot of people vying for your attention, okay? First of all, in your environment, we have the Five of Wands, and the Five of Wands indicates conflict, competition. It can, in this deck, also indicate like some type of instigation for conflict, okay? Words being misinterpreted, people misunderstanding one another, and we are heading towards Mercury in retrograde by the Mercury is going to go into the shadow period, I believe, by the middle of the month. So there are going to be opportunities for conflict. And I do feel that this is a month for you to be on high alert, to not instigate anything, to be very careful about writing memos and the way you communicate to make sure people from your past don't try to make a comeback. I do feel there is somebody coming through, communicating with you and trying to stir up some type of feelings in you. I do feel that they might be a fire sign. I do sense they might be a fire sign. So Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo, I do sense that they might be a fire sign. And I do feel as well, this is somebody that you might have had, and that's their sun, moon, or rising. So for example, if you are watching this for your moon sign, then it might be their moon sign. If you're watching this for your rising sign, then that fire energy might be their rising sign. That's how I've normally looked at these readings. So there might be a fire sign trying to come through to ruffle you up or rile you up. And you're very on guard about their motives. You're very, very on guard. Okay. And just be careful about communication. Okay. I also feel as well, it seems to me that there are some troublesome energies around you, like younger energies around you, where I feel like there's an age difference, between you and the other person, if you are romantically linked with, or whoever the fire sign is. I feel like there might be an age difference between you and them. There's some trouble brewing. There is some sense of like warning signs and things like that. And I feel that you came into some type of news, some type of evidence. Because the Princess of Swords, the Page of Swords, is a card about research. It's a card about digging for information. It's a card about, revealing the truth as well, because she's wielding a sword. So I do sense that for a lot of you, something is coming to light. Something is being dug up or being questioned. And you're kind of like vigilant. You're trying to see how it's going to unfold, is what I'm sensing. And I do feel some conflict coming through. You're turning your back on the conflict, which is good, because, we have this coming out like this. You're turning your back on it, which is good. But I do sense some information being dug up. It might be about another person. It might be about somebody's misdeeds, and you're watching the karma unfold, potentially in another person's life. And I feel like if it's somebody you care about and you're watching this karmic wheel turn either in their favor or not in their favor. I feel like if it's not in their favor, you might step in and try to help them. Let people deal with their own karmic lessons, is what I say. Don't get caught up in other people's lessons. Don't try to be anybody's knight in shining armor, because it is their own karmic lesson that they have to deal with, okay? It's not our place to interfere with other people's life lessons, okay? In terms of the advice here for you, what we do have here is we have the Ten of Swords, which is telling me that whatever you've been, continuously going back to, whatever situation that you've been, leaving and then going back, like one foot out the door, one foot in the door, it's coming to an end. There's no use wasting any more of your time, any more of your resources. This is also a card about not getting involved in other people's karma. So I do sense that whatever the contentious situation was that created a lot of anguish for you, that you devoted a lot of time and energy, sweat, tears, resources in, it's going to come to an end. It's not making a comeback. So you have to let it go. And I do sense for a lot of you, you have already let it go. And with the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse, with the Wheel of Fortune, the Wheel of Fortune is like the gateway, it's like the portal. Usually with Mercury in retrograde, the Wheel of Fortune comes out a lot because it's the portal that allows people from our past to pop back in. So you are going to have to look at this situation for what it is, close that door for good and move away. Okay, so be on guard about people coming back in especially towards the second half of the month, because I feel that it's a distraction from other things that could be very positive in your life, okay? What else is coming through here? We have the Ten of Cups, which is basically you have all the emotional fulfillment, emotional abundance in your life right now. So there's no use to going back in the past, to seek validation for anything else. So I do feel for those of you who have ended a cycle, you are coming into a place where you are going to have new friendships, very, very positive support from friends, loved ones, families that will rebuild your self-esteem, that are going to be very good for you, who are emotionally supportive so that you can find hope again. It's like finding, that silver lining with everything that's happening in our lives. It's the silver lining. I do feel as well, we have the Lovers, and I believe Aquarius also got this card in the same position. There is a relationship. Okay, so let's look at it like this. Usually with the Lovers and the Ten of Cups, I think of it as temptation. For those of you who are in coupled relationships, there might be temptation to step out of it. For those of you who are single and looking, I feel like this is what you're aiming for. You're aiming for somebody who not only is like emotionally fulfilling to you, you are also looking for that really strong, passionate love affair. You are looking for somebody that is that stirs your passion, that ignites, who is not also very attractive, but when we talk about chemistry, it's on a soul level, so it's going to extend beyond just physical attraction. You want that love at first sight, that very, very strong union and strong chemistry that you feel with another person. For a lot of you, I feel almost as if you are in a marriage situation still. I feel that you might not be happy, terribly happy, and I feel that you're going through a period of reassessment. If you are in a relationship where there's a lot of physical chemistry and you're not feeling the other person on an emotional level, you feel like the other person might not be the right one for you, you are reassessing this situation. For a lot of you as well, there might be some type of job location, geographical distance, and things like that, and you're trying to find a way to bridge the divide, bridge the distance gap between you and a lover and a significant other. So I definitely feel that something is in store for you where you're leaving behind old ways of doing and you're moving forward, and everything in your future positions look very, very positive. So the cards are advising you to let go of this. This is fears, anxiety, it's a card energy. So it's the mental processes, overthinking, overanalyzing, which makes us feel very, very afraid. The reality of it is you are going to achieve a lot of emotional stability and happiness. You are also going to be in a position where financial abundance is going to be coming through for you. There are multiple job offers. I feel for those of you who are waiting on interviews and callbacks, there are also like opportunities for love, but what I feel is it's a good match with the Lovers card. It's basically a very, very good match in jobs or even in romantic relationships, okay?